Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Village of Riverside Board of Trustees regular meeting of Thursday, February 5th, 2026. Please stand as you're able to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Stenzel, please call the roll.
Trustee Marshowska? Here. Trustee Gallios?
Here.
Trustee Koss?
Here.
Trustee Evans?
Here.
Trustee Mateo?
Here.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Here.
President Pollock?
Here.
Manager Francis?
Here.
Also present Clerk Stenzel.
We have a quorum for tonight's meeting. First on the agenda is the President's report. We have a resolution of the Village Board of Trustees designating the Village of Riverside as a B City USA affiliate. I'd like to ask Trustee Mateo to read the resolution, as she was instrumental in assisting staff in getting this prepared and getting us to be a B City.
We'll settle in. It's over 2 pages, so bear with us. Whereas the mission of Bee City USA is to galvanize communities to sustain pollinators responsible for the reproduction of almost 90% of the world's flowering plant species by providing them with healthy habitat rich in a variety of native plants and free to nearly free of pesticides. And whereas, thanks to the more than 3,600 species of native bees in the United States, along with introduced honeybees, we have a very diverse dietary choices rich in fruits, nuts, and vegetables. And whereas bees and other pollinators have experienced population declines due to a combination of habitat loss, poor nutrition, pesticides, parasites, diseases, and climate change, and whereas pollinator-friendly communities can benefit local and regional economies through healthier ecosystems, increased vegetable and fruit crop yields, and increased demand for pollinator-friendly plant materials from local growers. And whereas ideal pollinator-friendly habitat is comprised of mostly native wildflowers, grasses, vines, shrubs, and trees blooming in succession throughout the growing season to provide diverse and abundant nectar and pollen, since many wild pollinators prefer or depend on the native plants with which they co-adapted. B is nearly free of pesticides, as many pesticides can harm pollinators and or their habitat. C comprises undisturbed spaces. And D provides connectivity between habitat areas to support pollinator movement and resilience. And whereas integrated pest management is a long-term approach to maintaining healthy landscapes and facilities that minimize risks to people and the environment by identifying and removing the causes of pest problems rather than only attacking the symptoms, employing pests' natural enemies along with cultural, mechanical, and physical controls when prevention is not enough, and using pesticides only when no other method is feasible or effective. And whereas supporting pollinators fosters broad-based community engagement in environmental awareness and sustainability. And whereas the Village of Riverside should be certified a Bee City USA community because the village has multiple efforts to help with the conservation of pollinators, including adopting a climate action and resilience plan, promotes native plantings, and has implemented a natural resource management plan. And now, therefore, be it resolved, in order to enhance understanding among local government staff and public about the vital role that pollinators play and what each of us can do to sustain them, the Village of Riverside chooses to support and encourage healthy pollinator habitat creation and enhancement, resolving as follows these recitals. The foregoing recitals are hereby incorporated into and made a part of this resolution as a fully set forth herein. The Village of Riverside Public Works Department is hereby designated as the Bee City USA sponsor. The Special Assistant to the Administration and Finance is designated as the Bee City USA liaison. Facilitation of Village of Riverside's Bee City USA program is assigned to the Landscape Advisory Commission. Such commission is authorized to and shall host at least one educational event or pollinator habitat planting or restoration each year to showcase the village's commitment to raising awareness of pollinator conservation and expanding pollinator health and habitat. Install and maintain at least one authorized Bee City USA street sign in a prominent location, and create and maintain a web page on the village's website, which includes, at a minimum, a copy of this resolution and links to the National Bee City USA website, contact information for our liaison and committee, reports of the pollinator-friendly activities the community has accomplished the previous years, and our recommended native plant species list and integrated pest management plan. Develop and implement a program to create or expand pollinator-friendly habitat on public and private land, which includes, but is not limited to, identifying and inventorying villages' real property that can be enhanced with pollinator-friendly plantings, creating a recommended locally native plant list to include wildflowers, grasses, vines, shrubs, and trees, and a list of local suppliers for those species, and tracking annual area of pollinator habitat created or enhanced. Create and adopt an integrated pest management plan designed to prevent pest problems, reduce pesticide use, and expand the use of non-chemical pest management methods. Establish through the village a policy in the Natural Resource Management Plan to acknowledge and commit to the Bee City USA designation, and review the Natural Resource Management Plan and other relevant documents to consider improvements to the pest management policies and practices as they relate to pollinator conservation, identify appropriate locations for pollinator-friendly plantings, and consider other appropriate measures. After completing the first calendar year, as an affiliate, each February apply for renewal of the Village of Riverside's Bee City USA designation, following the format provided by Bee City USA, including a report of the previous year's activities and paying the fee. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval in the manner provided by law.
Thank you, Trustee Mateo, and thank you for reading that, but also for your efforts in getting us to this point. Bee City USA is a nonprofit organization that provides resources to municipalities, including training opportunities, access to pollinator conservation experts, and access to online data and other members of the Bee City USA group. It meets our goals of advancing environmental sustainability and climate resilience, as well as strengthening intergovernmental collaboration and regional partnerships. Could I get any questions or comments first on the resolution? If not, could I get a motion and a second to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marshowska.
Aye.
Trustee Gallegos.
Aye.
Trustee Koss.
Aye.
Trustee Evans.
Aye.
Trustee Mateo.
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Ordinance or resolution is approved. Just a few announcements under President's report. Today, Governor Pritzker spent time in Riverside. Thank you, Governor, for taking the time to visit our community, including Riverside Foods and Sawmilly. We appreciate your support and hope you visit the village again soon. Also on February 6th, many of us attended a ribbon cutting at Epizate Restaurant on Harlem Avenue. Their address is 3216 Harlem Avenue. This is the Village of Riverside newest restaurant, and we're pleased to celebrate the opening and ribbon cutting for Epizate, our newest restaurant located on Harlem Avenue. We welcome Epizate to our business community and wish them great success as they bring new energy, flavor, and investment to this important corridor of the village. Upcoming meetings include February 10th, the Landscape Advisory Commission meets at the Village Hall at 6:30 p.m. February 12th, the Preservation Commission has their regular meeting at the Village Hall at 6:30 p.m. February 16th, the Historical Commission has their regular meeting at the Village Hall, 6:30 p.m. And our next Village Board meeting is 2 weeks from tonight at the Village Hall, February 19th, 6:30 p.m. That concludes my president's report. I would ask for trustee reports, and I understand we have a report on the 150 committee. Trustee Marshowska.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much. So on behalf of the 150 committee, I would just like to say, 2025 was filled with amazing celebrations honoring our history and encouraging a lot of thoughtful consideration of our future. And as we approach the closing ceremony, which all residents and people who work within the village are invited to attend, it is February 20th, which is a Friday, at 5:30 p.m. at the Riverside Public Library. We invite you to raise a glass with us to recap the year's festivities, share some highlights of the many fine contributions to our time capsule, and also to formally announce what we would like to be our sesquicentennial legacy project. When our committee met on Monday night, as many of you know, there is an imaginative, accessible, nature-based and nature-inspired play place in design for Turtle Park. But we were advised that equipment and construction costs may exceed the committed grant amount. So pending approval of the village board, our Riverside 150 committee would like to dedicate its remaining funds to this project. It will be a forward-looking gift for our youth, celebrating the wonders of nature and creative play, and will be enjoyed by the community for years to come. So in keeping with this, thanks to the generosity of our donors, we are now able to offer another sesquicentennial auction specifically dedicated to the Legacy Project. And that Zephy auction will be going live tomorrow. It is an opportunity to just, again, pick up some incredible pieces that are relevant to Riverside and just artistic creative pieces in and of themselves, and also to support an important project. And if you do not, want to bid on a piece of art, but you do want to support this great project and be a part of the initiative, we have a separate way to donate, just a separate link on the website. And donations of any amount are greatly appreciated towards this project. It really is going to make a difference in our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Marshowska. Co-Chair Gallegos, Co-Chair of Sesquicentennial Committee, anything you'd like to add?
No, everything covered it all. Overachiever.
And I'd like to personally thank both of you for all the work you've put in over the last year. It's well above and beyond the call of duty, and I think the 150 celebration was a great success. So thank you.
Yeah, I believe
And the
Riverside
members of
TV
the
is going to have a reel played that night to have everything that happened
Yeah.
celebration-wise. So,
And the
so I
Legacy
thank them as
Project-
well because they've done a lot of work for.
Yes, the committee has done a wonderful job, and I think this is a great legacy project. It's just perfect for Riverside.
So I think officially we might vote on it next meeting. Would that be appropriate?
Turtle Parks design?
No, the funding.
We
the
have
board funding.
funding from
asked in our meeting minutes, or as part of our final action at our last meeting, we did request that the village board, we're recommending that we be able to put the funds towards that project specifically,
So, yes, absolutely. We'll
in deference to everyone else on the board.
Thank you. Any other trustee reports? Manager's report, Manager Francis.
I have a couple of items this evening. First, I want to start off with some recognition of staff member anniversaries. So bear with me because I have a long list. We have Michael Bardick, who's currently our electrical inspector, but has served in various roles over the past 52 years.
Wow.
George Segura, who is a maintenance worker on Public Works, has been with the village for 6 years. Joseph Manganello, who's Public Works Utility Operator. He has been with the village for 24 years. Isaac Hamilton, a police officer. He has been with the village for 13 years. Mike Collins, who is the village forester. He's been with us for 21 years. Johnny Perez Saldana, a police officer, has been with the village for 3 years. Danielle Schultz, public safety analyst, 4 years. Jeremiah Carrera is a firefighter. He's been with the village for 4 years. Vincent Galvan, firefighter, 5 years. Isaiah Hernandez, firefighter, 5 years. Sarah Vasek, production assistant with Riverside TV, 7 years. John Feranick, public works mechanic, 37 years. Michael Gardner, firefighter, 14 years. James Mulligan, deputy fire chief, 14 years. Paul Patak, firefighter, 6 years. Hannah DeCassola, accountant, 4 years. Mary Beth Reamer, administrative assistant to Public Works, 21 years. And Jerry Norman, Public Works maintenance worker, 12 years. So I just want to express our gratitude. Not many villages have so many employees with extensive years of service with one village. So I just think that speaks to the caliber of the village board and the community in which we all serve. Secondarily, I wanted to provide the board a quick update regarding property tax receipts. As the board is aware, the second installment was initially due in 2025 on August 1st, but that was actually delayed to December 15th. The initial second installment bills were mailed out in mid-November. As of today's date, we still have outstanding approximately 1.4 million of our second installment bills. That does not mean that Riverside residents did not pay their property tax. We just have not received remittance of those property tax payments from the county. And how does this impact the village? Well, for every month that those amounts remain delinquent, we initially projected, based on the full amount, which was approximately $3 million for the second installment, we lose approximately $10,000 in interest earnings, which has a budgetary impact.
Yeah.
So initially in 2025, we expected to have, Riverside is very good at remitting their property tax on time. According to our assessor, about 95% of tax bills are paid on time for Riverside Township, which is very high, and that's something that they're very proud of. And so presumably we would have received 95% of those payments if the deadline would have remained on August 1st, which means we would have received interest in August through December. As of the end of December, we received approximately 400,000 of the second installment, and still, as of this date, we're still waiting on 1.4 million. So we continue to lose interest earnings. Also, I wanted the board to be aware that we are told that the first installment bills will be sent out in early March with a deadline of April 1st. It is our hope that we will receive the remaining amount as soon as possible. Director Zavala has been working tirelessly to get updates from the county, to which we haven't really received anything most recently, because we were told we would receive $500,000 on February 2nd, to which we have not received yet. So that is my update.
Thank you. And I would just add that Manager Francis and myself are working with other villages, other taxing bodies who are in the same position to try to make sure, one, we get our tax distribution, but also we're made whole by the failure of the county to give it to us in a timely manner. Thank you, Manager Francis. Now's the time for public comments for non-agenda items. We do not have anyone in attendance for public comments. I will move to consent agenda. Clerk Stenzel, please read the consent agenda.
Approve voucher list of bills, February 5th, 2026. Approve Village Board of Trustees Committee of the Whole regular meeting minutes, January 15th, 2026. Approve Village Board of Trustees regular meeting minutes, January 15th, 2026. Approve Village Board of Trustees executive session meeting minutes, January 15th, 2026. Review and file board and commission minutes. Landscape Advisory Commission regular meeting minutes, November 11th, 2025. Economic Development Commission regular meeting minutes, November 12th, 2025. Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting minutes, November 17th, 2025. Board of Fire and Police Commissioners regular meeting minutes, December 3rd, 2025. Review and file department monthly reports. Police Department, December 2025. Fire Department, December 2025. Finance Department, December 2025. Community Development Department, December 2025. A resolution authorizing the village manager to waive competitive bidding and execute a sales agreement with Shorewood Home and Auto for a total amount not to exceed $42,094.86 for the purchase of a new 2024 Polaris Ranger all-electric UTV. An ordinance authorizing the adoption and publication of the official updated zoning map of the Village of Riverside. A resolution authorizing limited reimbursement for the cost of lead service line replacement work. A resolution approving and authorizing acceptance of a proposal from Christopher B. Burke Engineering to perform part-time remote engineering services for the Village of Riverside. And a resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing the village manager to enter into various purchase orders.
Do any of these items need to be removed? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk Stenzel, please call the roll.
Trustee Marshaga?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Koss.
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Motion carries. Department, board, and commission reports. This evening, we have a report from Director Siren in the Preservation Commission report, landmarking the trolley shelter on Des Plaines Avenue.
Thank you.
Director Siren.
The village has 2 trolley shelters as a reminder. One is on Harlem and 26th, the other is on Des Plaines near Northgate. The Preservation Commission voted to recommend that the village preserve at least the trolley shelter on Des Plaines Avenue and arrange to have a historical marker attached to it. They also suggested landmarking that shelter. They were in favor of preserving both shelters, but thought that the one on Des Plaines was more important of the two if the village had to pick between one of the two. Following that vote, Commissioner Boda prepared an application to landmark that shelter, and the commission recommended moving forward with a public hearing for that shelter. So staff requests feedback from the board on landmarking one or both of the trolley shelters. Staff also requests the board direction on whether plaques or other signage should be added to the trolley stops as recommended by the Historical and Preservation Commissions.
Trustees, Trustee Galagos?
Is there any reason why we would not want to landmark both? Like not want to do one on
I don't know of
26th
any
in-
reason.
in Harlem? I'd be in favor of landmarking both, really.
That one's in really bad shape, though. We're going to restore it?
Yes.
And
I think that's the question before the board is, and I believe we've talked about this before, and I thought the consensus from the board was to do both. But you have another opportunity here, and I guess I'm looking for a consensus.
I think the question before was whether or not we would take them away and put them in storage somewhere, which we didn't have
That
any
too,
space
right.
that I remember. But if we can get a quote as far as what it would take to restore them,
Well, the one on Harlem on Des Plaines and Northgate is in pretty good shape, right? It's the other one that's, I don't know who I'm supposed to look at. It's the other one that's.
26.
It's
Des Plaines. I'm looking at you,
To a
you're
completely,
Dan.
to a completely inexpert eye, the one on Des Plaines does look like it is in better shape. They both
Okay.
could use some attention.
Right, but one, okay. I'm just not sure with the location of the one, the Harlem and 26 one, where it is, if it's worth restoring it at this point.
I think we'd have to make an assessment.
yeah, I would want an assessment
Yeah.
before I spend any dollars.
I am in support of restoring the one on Des Plaines. It serves as a marker for parents to meet their kids in
Yep.
between school and home, especially North Riverside families. There's always kids waiting there after school. It's, used. Kids sit there. So I would be fully in support of improving that and making it a landmark.
Then I have a question. Are you against doing anything for the one on 26 in Harlem then?
I'm not, but I don't see, I just want to note that I don't see it in use.
So if you have one, if you have to choose, like to do one or the other, that's the preferential one that you would.
On
Okay.
displays, yes.
I understand that one.
I'm in agreement with Trustee Evans on that.
Same.
Manager Francis?
I believe we did budget for rehabbing one of the structures, but Director Tab can correct me if I'm wrong, and I believe that they were going to do it in-house. Director Tab?
Yes, that is correct.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, I don't recall exactly what we budgeted, but at the end of the day, they're wooden structures that wouldn't take that much to restore. So the intent would be to do it in-house to save money.
Do you have a ballpark figure for us?
The one on 26th Street probably will require a little bit of concrete work because it's got a lean to it. That's because the wood is rotted out and it's kind of sinking. I'd say we could probably do both of them for $15,000.
Total for, okay.
We budgeted $14,000.
That was close.
Okay.
Well done.
Not bad, huh?
Well done, yeah, just spitballing my work.
So that would be the plan, is to do both of them in-house, whether you want to landmark one of them or both of them at the end of the day.
Could we
They'll both be
landmark
done.
one and then the other if we so choose later on? Is that-
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to restore both, and if we can landmark at least one tonight, I'd be in favor of that. I don't mind landmarking both of them, but I don't know how my fellow trustees feel about that one.
Is this item for discussion only at this point?
For discussion and guidance, the only thing I would say is if the board is leaning into just designating both of them, because there's a process that's involved, it's a little bit more streamlined to just do them both at once versus splitting them up.
Now knowing that we have the majority of the funding for restoration of both structures, I would agree with that administrative consideration and say we should landmark them both.
Do you have a timeline as to when they could be finished?
I'd like to get the one on the Splains done this year,
Okay.
at least one of them this year. If weather permits and our other tasks allow, we'll shoot for both of them, but I'd like to get one done.
And there's no deadline for us to landmark these, right? Just some point this year when it comes?
Yes.
Okay.
So this consensus then is to proceed with the restoration as budgeted and to proceed with landmarking both structures.
Yes.
I would say yes.
Manager
there-
Francis?
There was one final question that we had as it relates to signage.
Yes.
Director
The
Sines.
Historical Commission suggests and the Preservation Commission confirmed that they would recommend adding some sort of interpretive signage on the trolley stop.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm in favor of that as well.
With our new logo?
With the new logo, is there any other signage that would be proposed to identify the village?
I would like to see something small but visible from passing motorists that brands or shows our logo or brand on both of them. I mean, the one on Woodside is great, mainly for Riverside residents, but then the one on 26th Street advertises our village to a lot of people not in the village. And I think that's a good thing.
Well, it'd be nice if it said, obviously, what it is, but why it's been preserved, too.
That's the.
Like a little blurb would be good.
I think that's the intent of the interpretive
Right.
signage, is to explain.
Great, yeah.
All right, staff, you have the direction you need?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Pending business, update on rental registration and inspection program, Director Siren.
Thank you. The village's rental registration and inspection program is now entering its 5th year, and I'm pleased to report with the progress that we've made in 2025, and I'm looking forward to bringing more buildings and units into compliance. I want to recognize the hard work of Frank Krupa, the village's code inspector, and Hunter Duzak, one of our new resident service representatives. He's greatly improved the program's organization and invoicing. The village reduced the number of inspections last year to ensure cost stayed within budget. I want to note the number of inspections conducted in 2025 was 288, not 244, which was stated in the agenda, and that was my error, just a miscalculation. That's why there's an asterisk on it. Inspection fees increased last year due to improvements in inspection tracking and invoicing despite the reduced number of inspections. We are working with MGP to streamline program administration, though we don't anticipate inspection fees increasing in future years. We anticipate will remain consistent with the number of inspections we conduct. The remaining non-compliant buildings and units typically require more significant investment due to deferred maintenance. These are the folks who we've been out to the property a few times, and we've had maybe the same comments. So we're getting to the point where we're going to need to start issuing citations when we reach the end of our term of voluntary compliance. We always strive for voluntary compliance. However, if someone doesn't comply, we do need to issue citations. That is not a hugely involved process, but it does require more staff time to go through adjudication. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Trustees, questions? Of course, this program is geared to ensure safe housing for all Riverside residents. If there are no further questions, no direction or no action is needed by the board, but thank you, Director Siren, and thank you to all staff who have very successfully implemented this program. New business, a resolution approving a hardscape permit application for the installation of a memorial bench at Riverside Village Center, 10 East Burlington Street. Director Tab.
Yes, in front of you is a hardscape permit application for a bench that was submitted by Judy Gisa in memory of Joan Wirt. The location that she is requesting can be seen on the screen here. The little red dot in the corner aligns with that little nook there on the Burlington side, adjacent to the front entryway to La Barra, which is the village center there. Normally, this would not be in front of you because it's in the B2 district, and it doesn't require the formalities of going through commission and board approval. However, this is somewhat unique in the sense that this area was basically, granted to the village by the Riverside Center back in 2015. There's Judy. It's like you knew the timing here. Judy's the one submitting this, and again, not required, but it's somewhat unique. The association, the current association, actually made comment on this, and they were unanimously in favor of the installation of this bench adjacent to the building. It is their building, so felt it warranted their approval. But again, this is village property up to the face of the building, and that was granted to the village in 2015. So the village would maintain the bench should it fall into disrepair. Of course, we, at the end of the day, can remove it if we feel the need to, but it's a newer style bench similar to all the ones in the central business district. The only difference would be it's going to be 4 feet wide instead of 6 feet wide. Most of ours are 6 feet, but it would be sticking out too far to the walkway if it were to be a 6-foot bench. So a 4-foot fits nicely in there.
And you said the building residents were in favor of this,
Yeah, the association.
including La Barra Restaurant.
Yes.
And I'm in favor of it as well.
Just one question. How will it be installed? Will you lift the bricks and put cement down? That's how some of the others are installed over there.
There's currently cement in it. I wish I had the little laser pointer, but Emily doesn't trust me with it. There it is. Oh, here it is. And that's why she doesn't trust me. Okay, this little area here is cement. It would be surface mounted right into the cement. No bricks would get lifted or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board?
I love this, and I love that it's for Mrs. Wirt.
Mrs. Gieson, would you like to?
Judy's here if you guys have any questions for her.
Either one of you like to say anything? If you come to the mic, please.
No, if you have any other comments, but I think you covered most of it.
He's on the bench.
Yeah, I know. I know Judy's very adamant about this bench.
Yeah.
But it's a standard application other than the location, because it's in the business district, so.
Well, on behalf of the village, thank you for your contribution. That's very much appreciated. And I guess we need a motion and a second to approve the
So moved.
resolution.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Cost?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Resolution is approved. Thank you again for your contribution. Motion to adopt updated Riverside TV filming policy and application. Clerk Stenzel.
The Riverside TV Commission and Riverside TV staff expressed an interest in updating the existing Riverside TV filming policy and application. Staff identified a need to update the application to include missing fields that would make greater efficiencies in the application process. The fundamental changes to the policy include an increase of the deposit amount from $200 to $300 to better absorb costs, decreasing the permissible cancellation timeframe from 72 hours to 48 hours, and increasing the application deadline to 60 days prior to production date. Please note that the increase in the deposit amount does not change the actual costs of filming. It simply minimizes what is being billed after the fact.
Thank you. Any questions for Clerk Stenzel or staff?
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
Would someone like to make a motion
I'll
and a
move to
second?
make that.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Cost?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Motion carries. An ordinance amending and updating Title V fire regulations of the village code relating to ambulance fees. Manager Francis.
Thank you. The last time the village updated this section of the code was in 2024. The only change that staff is recommending is to add this non-transport fee, which would be $600. This is to put us in better alignment with Brookfield, who currently charges the same fee. We do a lot of mutual aid for one another, and so it seems to make sense that we would be in alignment with our fee structure such as that. But I want to also note that this fee would be Riverside residents, calls for service to any of our libraries or schools or village-owned properties would be excluded from this non-transport fee. So it's very, very narrowly scoped as it relates to who this would pertain to.
Any questions for staff? Someone like to make a motion and a second?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Motion and a second.
I'll second.
Clerk Stenzel.
Trustee Marshall?
Aye.
Trustee Galagos?
Aye.
Trustee Cost?
Aye.
Trustee Evans?
Aye.
Trustee Mateo?
Aye.
Trustee Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Motion carries. We do not have a need for executive session this evening, so I would like to ask for a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. We are adjourned.